What's up, everybody? Well, there we go. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the BAllGAme podcast. I am the innocent bystander, Matt Sullivan.
I'm Trunks.
I'm Dean.
I'm Chris.
This is a little different. Obviously, we're on Zoom right now. If you guys saw the tweets, we actually had something happen to the whole studio. Chris's basement got flooded, so hopefully we are going to be getting that taken care of soon. The studio, the next time you guys will see it, is going to look quite different, and it's going to be in a new location.
Matt, why does your head look like that?
What the
Bro
fuck?
got a haircut.
Why'd you have to do that, bro? Why'd you have to do that? Why'd you have to do that?
I didn't look at it till just now.
Why'd you have to do that? See, like now I'm self-conscious now. Now the hoodie's up. No,
it's fine.
No,
just asking why.
No. Rest of podcast. Now the hoodie is up. It's over.
Look what you did.
Now I'm sad. Anyways, we have a lot to cover because obviously we did not talk about the entirety of week 4 of the NFL season. So we still have to cover a lot of that. And we will give you guys the pick'ems as we usually do every single week. So looking forward to covering a lot of stuff that we've missed so far and making up for some lost time. So without further ado, why not start with arguably the biggest game of the entire week and the biggest change in the entire week, and that's Zach Wilson and the New York Jets. So, Dean, I want you to start us off.
I don't want to sit here and give the Jets all this credit. They still lost. As good as Zach Wilson looked, I think there were clear times in the game where he could have been better. He played great, one of the best games of his career, but dropping the ball in a clutch time in the game still can't happen. There's times when the defense in the first quarter looks like they were just getting absolutely shredded. They shaped up towards the end of the game. Refs on both sides of the ball were pretty bad. There was a horse collar call that the Jets ended up getting on Breece Hall. That was not a horse collar. There was the holding at the end of the game, the clear one that everybody had a different opinion about. And then there was also the holding call on Jermaine Johnson when Patrick Mahomes ran for like 20-something yards on third down that didn't get called. So, I feel good about Zach Wilson going into Denver. But for the rest of the season, we'll see if he can keep it up. The play calling was better. Breece Hall looked good. The defense looked good. Quincy Williams looks amazing. I think there's some mistakes that Patrick Mahomes made during the game that Patrick Mahomes doesn't usually make. And I don't know if it's a testament to the Jets or if Pat Mahomes really just didn't have his best game. I think the Chiefs will be fine. Obviously, they won the game anyway. And I think the Jets have a little bit of life going into the rest of the year that they can maybe depend on Zach Wilson to grab them a few wins and sneak into a wild card spot and last a little bit longer than people thought.
So I completely agree. And for everything that you just said, Zach, for the first time, I feel like in his career, took full responsibility and looked like a leader. Like the whole time, even after the game, like he looked like he was genuinely becoming a leader. And the guys are like starting to genuinely believe in Zach Wilson, which is crazy to me. So I think he showed everything you could have asked for out of what you drafted him to be as a second overall pick. Some of the throws he made, there are very few guys in the NFL that can actually make those throws. Like, let's be real. As much as I hate to say it, because I didn't expect this. I've been one of the biggest guys in terms of shitting on Zach Wilson and giving every reason as to why he's not good and can't succeed in the sport. But he impressed the hell out of me. He made smart, heady decisions. It was one hitch, two hitch, and then it was check down. And it was super fast, super quick. And he looked like the game is clicking. The game is slowing down for him, and it's starting to click a little bit in his head. And we all knew he had the arm talent. I don't think that was ever a doubt with any of us. I think it was always, can his brain hook up with his arm talent, and can we get to a point where we're seeing a successful NFL quarterback? And I think by every week we're getting closer. And I said give him 2 full weeks because those 2 weeks were going to be tough with Dallas, and then it was the Patriots. And look at what we saw. It was shit. It was horrible. But then this was the 3rd week, and now he's been practicing with the ones, and we're seeing a completely different Zach Wilson in week 3 of this.
And the offensive line has been night and day from now and where they were week 1. Yes. Dropping Dwayne Brown, who unfortunately got hurt, but ended up helping the D line and the O line in that regard. Moving Mekhi back into left tackle, moving AVT to right tackle, I think was so important. AVT is such a good offensive lineman. The versatility to be able to be a guard, but actually grade better as a tackle is so impressive. The Jets offensive line graded, I think, at least 5% better every single week so far. They're only getting better. Joe Tippmann has been amazing to be a third-round pick and play as well as he's been playing outside of his natural position is impressive. The Jets O-line has to be given a lot of credit here. Giving Zach Wilson the ability to make those quick decisions is important. Especially, we know Zach Wilson under pressure is the worst quarterback in the league. We know that still. So if you give him a little bit of time, we see that he can make good decisions and he can make good throws and he has the arm talent and he can fit the balls into tight windows. That throw to Allen Lazard, that touchdown, was so impressive to me that back shoulder almost picked off, but threaded it in the most perfect window I've seen Zach Wilson throw a ball ever. Was so impressive. The ball to Tyler Conklin, the ball to Jeremy Ruckert on the sideline, to both tight ends. So impressive, right over the defender's shoulders. Anyway, Chris, I see you wanna say something.
No, I'm just looking at myself in the camera. I have a stat though. Zach Wilson is the first quarterback to have more completions, more touchdown passes, and more passing yards and less interceptions in a matchup against Patrick Mahomes out of 127 total matchups, including college and the NFL, which is pretty nuts.
It was the best game of his career.
Pretty nuts.
He was better than Patrick Mahomes.
I will say, like you guys alluded to, credit to Zach Wilson. He showed up, had the best game of his career. Patrick Mahomes made some mistakes that he's not normally going to make. But man, does it suck that you weren't able to capitalize and get the dub.
Yes.
I know it's a great feeling to see that you guys are going in the right direction. I think Joel Dell said this on Pick a Side that in week 1, you guys won the battle but lost the war because Aaron Rodgers got hurt. But this week, even though you guys lost the battle, you won the war because you saw some flashes from Zach Wilson. But you're 1-3. It's tough to. I mean, if you go into Denver and lose, season's over. It's a wrap ski. 1-4, you're not coming back from that. So obviously, it's the Chiefs. No one expected you guys to beat them anyway. But it just really, really blows that you guys were right there and the game was right there for the taking. Pick a Side memes crazy in the chat. But it sucks that you guys were right there and had the chance to win and you weren't able to capitalize. Can Zach Wilson keep it up? I don't know, man. We gotta wait and see.
Well, the Jets are without.
Seeing that game was rigged. Have you guys been seeing that stuff? And it kind of makes just a tiny bit of sense.
It makes a tiny bit of sense.
Just a little bit.
And I don't know if we should be giving credit to the Chiefs or the refs that the Chiefs had the ball on the 50-yard line with 7.5 minutes left in the game. 7.5 minutes left, and they milked the clock down to where the Jets did not even see the ball again for the whole rest of the game. That's crazy to me. There were 2 missed calls on that drive. I mean, the Jets got multiple stops. What are you going to do about it? They still lost the game. Zach Wilson shouldn't have fumbled the ball. But that was super, super frustrating to watch as a Jet fan, thinking that they were going to get the ball back and have a chance to at least come back. The Jets had all 3 timeouts. There was 7.5 minutes left, and they were on the 50-yard line, and they milked it to 0. Anyway, it was just frustrating.
Might I add, given that you just said they milked it to 0 too, it also needs to be said, one guy that goes kind of under the radar, getting a little bit more credit now than ever, but he's a Jersey native, and he was playing his ass off in this game for the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's Isaiah Pacheco. Pacheco runs with such a viciousness that it's so entertaining to watch. And he deserves his credit in this game too, because it was actually the second most touches in a game he's ever received in his career so far. And only the second time he's gotten 20 carries as a Kansas City Chief. And I expect more of that. They're establishing the run game. They have they have some offensive linemen there that can get out and run block. Pacheco has 4.3 speed. That needs to be mentioned as well. And yet he runs as angry as he does. I mean, this is a guy that obviously we know the Chiefs offense is amazing, but on a night where Patrick Mahomes is going to struggle and then you can hand the ball to Pacheco and expect 100 plus, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. So it's just going to show that the Chiefs are now evolving and they have so many more ways to win. It's not Mahomes has to be elite. It's Mahomes could be bad because we still have Isaiah Pacheco and we have a defense that now, even in the regular season, is a top 10 unit or a top 5 unit. So we're getting to that point. So
well, to me, it's very simple. Isaiah Pacheco is clearly their second best skill position player on the offense, and he needs the ball. If you want to win games, you got to give your best players the ball. So obviously there's Travis Kelce, but aside from Kelce, Pacheco's the best player on the offense, so he needs the ball. And it was good to see them, notice that and give him the rock. I mean, 5.8 yards a carry, he went for 115 on the ground. Like, it's pretty.
Doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah.
He also had 43 in the air.
Yeah. Shout out to him, man.
Going into Denver, it was just DJ Reed's going to be out, by the way.
oh boy.
He got a concussion in practice this week, I think.
Bro, I still think you guys are fully capable of being able to win that game.
Yo, how did he run so fast? DJ Reed.
I saw that.
That was
They
crazy.
didn't get him.
Well, because
That
if
was
he
a
didn't,
good
he
one.
would have been suspended forever, and Pat
Yeah.
Mahomes would have been paralyzed.
That's true.
Bro was running.
Bro, I was watching that. I had my hands in my head. I was like, and then he just missed him. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that shit was nuts.
Nah.
He could have gone up to him and ripped the ball out of his hands. Is how much he was in his face. But whatever.
I think you guys, you still have to come out of Denver with a win. That's without question. If you lose, if you lose the season is legitimately now over.
No, I know. If you go 1-4 with Zach Wilson, it's quite impossible to come back and make, especially in that division where the Dolphins are as amazing as they are and the Bills are as amazing as they are. Only one guy is going to win. The other
and the Patriots
of those two teams, one of them is going to be a wild card spot, obviously. So one of those spots are taken. The Jets have little wiggle room right now, so every game matters, especially against a team like the Broncos. It's a must win. It's a must win.
Right, realistically, there's only going to be one wild card spot up for grabs because, like you said, the Bills or the Dolphins. Whoever doesn't win the division is going to get one of the wild card spots. And I'm almost 100%. I'll give it like a 95% chance that the AFC North is going to get at least 2 playoff teams. With the Bengals, Ravens, Browns, and Steelers, they're going to at least get 2. I know the Bengals are.
The Steelers and Bengals don't look all that great, but neither do the Jets. I guess you're right.
Yeah, so I think that division will get 2. So realistically, there's only one wild card spot up for grab. I will say before we transition to the next segment, for the sake of Jets fans and for the sake of Zach Wilson, I hope that he could build off this. He does, like we've all been saying for 2 years now, honestly. He doesn't need to be amazing. Just take care of the ball and make the right reads. And I hope he's able to continue it because I don't want this week against the Chiefs to be just putting off the inevitable. Because we were saying for 2 weeks before this, the Jets need to bring in a new quarterback. The front office is failing, blah, 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 blah. So now he has a good week. So they, that buys them some time. The fans are happier. The media is happier. But, if he goes into Denver and loses, it's going to be the same exact conversation. Why didn't the Jets bring in another quarterback? Why is Zach Wilson still out there? This team can make the playoffs. They have an elite defense, but they're trotting out Zach Wilson, blah, 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 blah. So for his sake, I really hope he's able to get the job done. I want to see him succeed.
Yeah, it's also good seeing him leading the team the way he is compared to how he was last season. Remember that interview when he was saying he didn't fail the defense and all that, and then after this past game he said, it was on me and all that.
I mean,
shows how much he's
immediately
been
too
growing.
on the sideline, while the game was still finishing on the sideline, they saw it, and they got him on camera saying that's on me, game's on me type shit. So
I loved his post-game press conference. He said everything right in that.
I'm just gonna say this though. As much as I enjoyed it, it's easy to take blame when you had a good game.
That's also very true.
He knows he played well. He knows he played one of the best games of his career. I'm sure he wishes he didn't drop the ball at the end of the game, and I'm sure he actually feels bad about that. But when you know you're not fully the reason why you lost, yeah, okay, it's my fault. Sorry, guys, I'm the quarterback. It's easier
But
to
you have
say
everyone in
than
the locker room like, yo, that's
when
not
you
on you.
actually
That's not on you.
right when you throw 3 picks and then everybody's actually looking at you. It's harder to say, yeah, guys, no, like I really failed when it's you really did fail. Like, do I feel like Zach Wilson failed us against the Chiefs? I don't, and I don't think he fully believes that either. He shouldn't. He played a good game. Zach Wilson played one of the better games of his career, probably the best game of his career
Given the
in prime
circumstances.
time against the Chiefs. Taylor Swift in the building. It was everything was lined up. He had a great game. Donna Kelsey was watching. It was great.
That's why he did it, bro. That's why he did it. That's
Donna
exactly why he
Kelsey,
did it.
what a character. Jake from State Farm hanging out with her by
Bro,
day, hanging out
She
with
went
Taylor
to
Swift by
two
night.
games in one day. That's pretty impressive, honestly.
Bro, the people that she was around in
Jake
one
from
day.
State Farm.
She's
Insane.
living
She has,
life.
she has a podcast coming out, I think. You guys saw that? That's
No.
why.
What do they be
That's why she's
commenting on
doing
our
the.
TikTok? They just be letting anyone have a podcast.
Well, that's why she's doing. That's why she's doing like the promos with Jake with State Farm. Like she's actually promoting her podcast.
Wow.
I mean, if she's anything like her two sons, then it'll be an entertaining podcast. So
oh my God, did you guys listen to their podcast with Chris Jones?
I did not.
Bro, that shit was straight jokes. Chris
No.
Jones is a character, man.
Do you
Did
see
you guys see
Braun
Rodney
trying to get
Harrison?
on? What happened?
You go first.
Did you see Braun's trying to get on their pod?
I saw
No, that would be
Yeah.
crazy.
So what were you gonna say, Dean? I'm sorry.
You saw Rodney Harrison? How we talked about
Yo,
Zach Wilson?
bro.
What the hell was that?
Top
What was
one,
that?
top one hater. That was crazy.
That was
insane.
nuts.
That was insane.
Anyway,
Yo,
we don't
you
gotta
know who
talk
I gotta
about
show love to for everything? Micah Parsons. The way he's been defending a lot of his guys in the NFL and the quarterbacks especially, he is really like taking the opportunity to try to put on for some of these guys. I'm gonna just trust he turned his camera off. I think he's still here. The way that he's trying to defend all of his guys, I really do. I respect the hell out of that. When he could take the time to bash some of these guys. Like, bro, look at these fucking 49ers players right now. What's up with that shit, bro? Why are they just bashing? Like, I hate to say, like, what? There's no reason to. We're going to transition now, I guess. Obviously, the Giants got smacked around by the Seahawks. And this gives me the opportunity to say that the 49ers players have been bashing Daniel Jones. Like, unnecessarily so recently, especially. We had Eric Armstead after this game say like, "Oh, Danny, why didn't you give us the opportunity to hit you like that? Like you were getting rid of the football." Like, and then all of them are saying like he's overpaid and shit. What's the point, bro? What is the reason? Like, what's the point?
I agree. It's so easy to talk shit about guys when you're sitting in a high position like the Niners. You know you're the best team in the league. It's so easy to talk down on guys. Like, why would you do that? There's no reason to.
I
Kind of deserves it though.
what?
Especially when you know
The
your
whole team,
quarterback
the
ain't.
whole team.
Do they
Not
know
Danny
their quarterback
and-
is
not
like
Danny
not
by
that
himself.
great? Do they know Brock Purdy's not all that?
I mean, to be
Do they
fair,
know
he's not
that?
losing though. He hasn't
If
lost
you
yet,
put Danny on the 49ers,
but he's not on the 49ers.
they'd be in the same situation right now.
That's
We
not
gotta
true. We don't know
Alright,
that.
Let's get into it.
We
Fuck
don't
it.
know that.
Let's stop it with this Daniel Jones and the hypotheticals. Oh, get him some help. He needs an O-line. He needs this. He needs that. Because that's what he got this offseason, according to the Giants fan on the panel. He got Darren Waller and Paris Campbell. And that was supposed to change everything.
And Jalen Hyatt,
And Jalen
Paris
Hyatt.
Campbell.
Healthy Sterling Shepard. Shout out to Sterling Shep.
healthy Wandell.
Right. All these guys, all these
Isaiah
playmakers.
Hodgins. Don't forget about him.
Yeah.
Right.
Full season.
Right. And it just hasn't been there. And I get it because I know, Matt, you're going to, when I pass the floor over to you, you're going to say about how terrible the team is as a whole.
It's going to be different than what you expect me to say. I promise you.
I agree with what you're going to say. The O-line without Andrew Thomas is far and away the worst in the league. It's not even close. They're playing terrible. The skills position players are playing terrible. Darren Waller has been a complete wash. The defense in this past game against the Seahawks was okay, but the season in totality, they haven't been good. Kayvon Thibodeau does not look good. I mean, they really whiffed on that draft class last year. And it's crazy to say, too, because, I mean, we were there at the draft party. We were like, holy shit, What a draft class. You had 2 top 10 picks, and you got arguably the best lineman in the class and arguably the best tackle in the edge rusher in the class. And they've both been a wash. I mean, Evan Neal, it's bad with Evan Neal. He might be the worst in the league. He's fucking terrible.
Kayvon had a great game. I'll give him that.
I was gonna say, I think you give Kayvon a little bit of leeway this year.
Yeah. This past game he was better, but the season as a whole, he's been kind of meh, kind of quiet. But Daniel Jones does not get a pass. When you get $40 million per year, you don't get a pass. I'm sorry. He's not on his rookie contract anymore. He's not. Wait and see if he's the guy. Give him time. He's supposed to be the guy that takes him over the hump. You pay a guy $40 million. Obviously, the circumstances are terrible, but he's supposed to overcome that a little bit. And to me, he's regressed. He's not playing the same as he did last year. I mean, he is not a good passer. Like, he's not a good passer. He struggles to move the ball. He struggles to make reads. If his first read isn't there, he's taking off or he's getting sacked. That's what it is. If his first read isn't there, and with the lack of skill position players, a lot of the time the first read isn't there. He struggles to scan the field. He's been just not good. I mean, I have the stats right here. 30th in EPA per attempt, 30th in yards per attempt, 28th in pass success rate, 32nd in touchdown rate, 33rd in touchdown to interception ratio, 31st in explosive passing right now. And that's a problem. That's a big problem. And it's tough for the Giants because, I mean, I was even in the camp that in the offseason that you do pay Daniel Jones, that, he showed you that you give him another contract, a 2-year contract, whatever it is. But $40 million, it's just not a lot when you have so many holes on the rest of the team. You have to build the rest of the team up before you pay a quarterback. I mean,
that was my problem. There were so many obvious holes that the Giants had, and they chose to still pay Danny Jones.
And it's just a shame because, I mean, this season's over. It's over. They have no chance of making the playoffs this year. It's a wrap. Going to get another top 10 pick, whatever. Next year, we're going to wait and see. But then after that, a lot of the dead money is this year. So after next year, they're going to be able to get off of Daniel Jones. And I don't see why they wouldn't get off of Daniel Jones and just restart this whole thing. And like you've said a million times, Matt, like, he really had no chance to succeed. And it sucks. It does suck because he had no chance to succeed. But I mean, that's just the truth of the situation. I mean, I don't see him turning it around this year. I don't know what the Giants could do in the offseason. I mean, that's a ways away, but I don't know if there's anything they could do to turn this thing around. It's tough to be a Giants fan right now. I'll say that.
So what everyone probably expects me to say right now is Daniel Jones is like up against it. He's going through it, which all true. I will give him the fact that he has the worst offensive line in football right now. I will say that he arguably has one of the worst group of skill position players in the entire league, which is also true. But I decided to go back and watch the All 22 film, which is the cameras where you get to see everything going on in a play. And I saw a lot of stuff that I'm not blaming on the offensive line. I'm not blaming on the skill position players. I'm blaming it on one guy, and that's Daniel Jones. And I said it in the chat. I said it's unfortunate because I also just think that we've scarred him so much as a player that we can't make up for it now. That Daniel Jones is just kind of destroyed mentally in a way that, like, we've done over time. And it's unfortunate because he's a talented player, and I do think there's an alternate universe where Daniel Jones is a really fucking good quarterback for either the Giants or whatever football team that ends up being. But unfortunately, we're living in a world where Daniel Jones has been destroyed throughout his career to where now he's so scarred that he's bailing from clean pockets. He automatically assumes that there's going to be pressure in his face on a given play, and he hesitates on a lot of different throws. So I'll give the 2 interceptions, for example. The first one, he stared the Devon Witherspoon fucking pick 6. Oh, my God. Also, I was at this game. So this was just this compounded. It made it even worse.
Everyone left after the third quarter.
No, we
bad.
left with like 3 minutes left in the fourth.
No, not us. I'm like most of the
Oh, yeah,
stadium, like, they were
everyone
gone.
cleared out.
All the
Everyone
Giants fans
cleared
were
out.
gone.
The Devon Witherspoon interception. By the way, what's his name on ESPN gave a great breakdown of a lot of Danny's plays. I completely forgot. Dan Orlovsky gave a great breakdown on a lot of the things Danny was doing wrong as well. Stared down the receiver, and that's been a atypical moment of Daniel Jones throughout his career, where he locks in on one target and then still throws the ball when you have NFL DBs watching your eyes, waiting to jump that pass. And then Devon Witherspoon ran it back. And shout out to Devon Witherspoon, by the way, who had a sick game in this one, breaking out truly as, what was he, the number 5 overall pick or something like that? Yeah, he's a baller. He's amazing.
He had 2 sacks. He had that pick 6, and I mean, they mentioned it a million times on the broadcast. I don't remember who exactly was out for the Seahawks, but they had him playing a lot in the nickel, and I think that's his spot. I mean, he was coming off the edge as the nickel blitzer. Obviously, he had the pick 6, and they interviewed him after the game, and they were asking him. Scott Van Pelt was asking him, like, since you were moving all over the field, like, what do you like better, playing on the boundary or being in the nickel? And at first he was like, I'll just do whatever coach asks me. And then Scott asked him again, like, no, for real, like, which do you like better? And he was like, after this game, I got to say, I like being in the nickel. It's working for me. So I think they really found something there. I mean, those 2 sacks, he was coming in hot off the edge.
Yes, he was. He also made the joke after where he was like, yeah, my guys made me look bad. They made me look slow. Like Julian Love and them were outrunning me. Like,
and shout out to him too, because he got us a bunch of views on our redraft from last week. Everyone was coming back clowning us for leaving him out.
I mean, to that point, granted, what were we supposed to do? Those guys
it don't matter. It got us 20,000 extra views on our TikTok. Like, thank you, Devin Witherspoon. Thank you.
Wait, what happened?
Our redraft. We didn't draft him in the top 12 of our redraft we did last week. So everyone was coming back after the Giants game, like, oh, where's Devin Witherspoon?
This
taking him over Christian Gonzalez.
Everybody said something about Zay Flowers too. Who else?
Everyone wanted Zay Flowers in there over Puka,
which is ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. It's not crazy.
No, that's insane.
Based on what they've done, bro. Puka has shattered every rookie receiving record through 4 weeks. Like, not even just.
And Puka is playing the Cooper Kupp role. I'm sorry. When I tell you, there's probably a good amount of receivers that can play that role and also get 20 targets. It's probably it's probably true.
Yeah, but he's the one doing it, so that's why.
I think Zay Flowers is literally a more talented receiver.
Bro, but
I agree with that.
That's not the point.
I agree with that.
It's not being more talented. It's being Puka's body type also lends to him being able to play that role. And it's also like a lot of that role is IQ based. You need to be thinking as in how the quarterback is thinking too. Puka's so good, and Cooper Kupp is the same way at finding soft spots in a defense and just kind of sitting there. Like, a lot of these receivers have the tendency to overrun a spot. But no, Puka will find the spot, sit there, and then he's going to make sure that he's in the quarterback's vision as well.
But how much of it is it just the system that he plays in? That he is literally Cooper Kupp right now.
He's also a great route runner.
Yeah, from the film, like, he's running some crazy routes. His hands have been pretty sick. Like,
his hands are unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's a top 10 receiver in the NFL like the production says, but like, I mean, to be able to produce the way he's producing through 4 weeks, like, you have to be some type of legit. It can't just all be the system.
And the hits he takes too after the catch, like, he's a tough dude.
I mean, what do you go for last game? Like 9 receptions for like 170 and the game-winning tud.
Yep.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, now Puka's on another level. But
see, Cooper Kupp's coming back this week.
Cooper is coming back.
Likely some dogs coming back this week. Cuppington, Taylor.
Yeah.
Is JT set to really return?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah, they were like questioning him if he was dedicated, and he was in the press conference like, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't dedicated. You guys are being silly,
man. Damn. It was a nice run, Zach Moss.
RIP.
It was a nice run.
It's time.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's talk about last night's game.
Wait.
Is that
JC's back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Yo, him and
My
Anthony
boy.
Richardson in the backfield together is scary. Hey, Trunks, you should probably trade Jonathan Taylor now, bro, because Anthony Richardson's getting all those rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
But
Take him off my hands,
You should
please.
trade for Anthony Richardson, actually.
Yeah. Speaking of fantasy football, man.
Let me say one quick thing about Daniel Jones. Let me finish this part of this. A lot of this is on him. I'm not going to say otherwise. A lot of this is absolutely on Daniel Jones. And as a Giant fan now, I'm gonna be honest. I'm praying that we end up with the first overall pick, and the Chicago Bears really helped us out last night. So, going and winning that game, we're getting in better position at this point. I know the playoffs are out of reach. I'm praying we end up with that first overall pick because Caleb Williams in blue would look so goddamn good. And it has to be said that a good quarterback will really help out an offensive line, and it'll make them better. We saw it with Geno Smith, bro. He's dealing with a bunch of offensive linemen out right now, and there's a bunch of other teams that are doing the same damn thing. And Geno made it work. Geno's making it work. I'm not saying that these guys are as bad as
Stroud.
Yeah, CJ, bro. Oh my God, as a rookie,
Right.
I don't understand. Some of it has to go on Danny. Some of it has to go on coaching. Some of it has to go on bad players overall. So as a Giant fan, I'm not just going to sit here and defend Daniel Jones because a lot of the blame rightfully should go on him. And Danny needs to be better. It's that simple, or else he's not our quarterback next year. Even with the $40 million cap, but he's not our quarterback next year if this is how it's going to be. So.
So fun fact: the Giants are the only team to play 3 primetime games this season so far. They're 0-3 and have been outscored 94-15 in those games.
What a tragedy, man! And you know what's the most tragic about it? Daniel Jones is 1-12 in prime time, and last night we had a chance for my glorious king Samuel Howell to tie Daniel Jones' wins in prime time. And things just went south, man.
He got a gimme.
Had a gimme. The Chicago Bears walked into Washington. Justin Fields, DJ Moore had the best game of all-time history, and the Bears beat the Commanders 40-20. I'll go first. It might be lazy analysis to say this, and this be my analysis, but to me, it was just one of those games. The Commanders have some problems and some things to figure out, specifically on the defensive end. But to me, DJ Moore had over 250 receiving. I think 115 of those were after the catch. Something like that. It was just one of those games, you know? I mean, the last touchdown, to me, that's just fucking unfortunate. He ran a curl route, the corner. I think it was Kendall Fuller in that situation. Tried to make
it was Benjamin St. Juste.
It was St. Juste. Whoever it was. Tried to make a play on the ball. Completely missed. DJ Moore had a walk-in touchdown. To me, that shit's just unfortunate.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was
a scheme. That particular play, it's not like a scheme issue. It's not a personnel issue. Tried to make a play on the ball, missed it. That's a gamble you take. I mean, I will say a lot of people are hyping up Justin Fields the last 2 weeks. I think he has 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's been good the last 2 weeks. But last night, to me, call me a hater. Well, actually, no, I'm not a hater. You guys all know I fucking love Justin Fields. That's my guy for life. But last night wasn't really impressive to me. It didn't move me. It really didn't. He had a 50% completion percentage. He definitely made some throws, but to me, it was just on both sides of the ball, on both teams. DJ Moore was far and away the best player, and it wasn't close at all, and that was enough to win the game by 20. DJ Moore was that much better than everyone else that it led to a 20-point win.
You know, it makes me happy. I will say one thing, that DJ Moore is finally getting the opportunity to just be that guy. I came into the season and I said originally that DJ Moore was going to be a top 10 fantasy receiver. And then I backed off that, which I wish I never did, because it seems as though that quite possibly is going to happen. So how I feel about Justin Fields is an extension of the fact that you finally got him this alpha, like this number one. Got 158.3 passer rating when Fields targets DJ Moore is absolutely insane. Like that's just that's ridiculous. It's not fair. What the fuck? Why are you two staring at each other like
I don't know.
I came back and smirked, and I saw Trunk smirk, and it made me smile even more.
I think that I agree with you, Chris. I don't think Fields incredibly impressed me yesterday, but it's so much better than what it was. So some of the throws that Fields was making were like genuinely impressive throws, like on the money. The one to DJ Moore in the end zone, he fit in a pretty tight window in between two defenders. Moore was in the back of the end zone. And then the other one, the fade ball to DJ Moore, was also a ridiculous throw on the money. And then a great catch by DJ Moore. I'm pretty sure there was a slant and go where he beat the corner and the safety, and Fields put it in the perfect spot. DJ Moore accounted for like 230 of Fields' 289 passing yards.
He was the only receiver to catch a ball,
which is ridiculous. I think there was 3 players on the Bears that had a catch last night, which is insane. But I think Fields has just looked more comfortable too. I think similar in the vein of Zach Wilson, like we were saying before. Fields is 1 hitch, 2 hitch, and then it's like either I'm running and using my God-given abilities, or I'm getting rid of the football to a check down, and that's that. The offensive line there is good. I've been trying to say this. I've been trying to say that they protect well, and it's a clean pocket 99.9% of the time, but when you have Justin Fields holding the ball for 3.2, 3.3 seconds, there's not many offensive lines that are going to hold up. So he was more decisive, and it was good to see. And that's, I think, something that's going to come more and more. I think the offensive coordinator is getting more comfortable with him again this season. I think there were more designed runs last night, which was nice to see as well. So I think that this is the make or break for Fields. Like, this is it. If you're great for the rest of the season, you're their quarterback, and it's that simple. I thought this was a good test for him. I thought the Commanders were supposed to be a great defense, and, whatever. Their line of scrimmage got bodied, which was not supposed to happen with a great offensive line. A great defensive line. But Fields looked more comfortable. Fields was making the right decisions. But I need to see more. I need to see this more consistently. 2 weeks in a row now. Can we see this more? 15-29 is not incredibly impressive. So I need to see this 4 more weeks. 28-34 last week, 15-29 this week. Can we get a middle ground here? Can we find a middle ground in terms of completion percentage here? And keep targeting DJ Moore, because it seems
Please keep targeting DJ Moore, and I'll win a jersey from you guys. Justin Fields, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet stack has been feeding my family for generations.
Would you get a DJ Moore jersey if you won in the league?
If you want me in the league, I'd have to.
He's a baller.
He put up 50 plus.
What jersey are you guys picking if you guys win?
I haven't even thought about it, honestly.
Josh Allen.
I don't know.
Well, it depends.
I'm not gonna win,
because if the Dolphins beat the Jets on Black Friday, then I don't need to get a Tua jersey from this, because you're going to be getting me a Tua jersey.
Oh,
sadly.
I made that bet when Aaron Rodgers was a thing.
Hey man, injuries are a part of the game.
That's crazy.
That's rough.
I'm confident as a Jet fan, but basically I'm guaranteed to buy you a Tua jersey.
Yeah.
So you're not confident as a
and
Jets
$50 too when the Dolphins have more wins than the Jets this season.
Yo, Chris is gonna win a lot because Sam Howell's probably gonna have more touchdowns than Danny.
Don't we have injury rules?
Not
Isn't
on
that
my
a
bet.
thing?
We did.
No, I said on my bets I'm not doing injury rules. You guys, I think Matty J and Ortiz made injury consolation on their Lamar Jackson bet, but I'm injuries are a part of the game, man.
Wait,
Bro, because I bet on the
But when
Dolphins.
my quarterback's Aaron
Bro,
Rodgers.
I bet on the Dolphins. Everyone was expecting Tua to be out 3 weeks into the season when it's 50.
what was the Lamar bet? I forget.
You have him finishing top 4 or better. Ortiz has him finishing top 7 or worse. If he finishes 5 to 6, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Such a
But-
stupid bet.
Hold on.
On
Where
the
is he right now? He's QB6. Okay. All right.
right in the middle. Wow.
He's
So-
QB6.
On the Commander side of things, it was a super slow start.
Chris,
I'll start with-
before you get into that, I just want to do this real quick. DJ Moore, would you rather?
Okay.
Or would you rather DJ Moore edition? There we go. All right. First and foremost, DJ Moore or Devontae Smith?
DJ Moore, comfortably.
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
Okay. DJ Moore or Brandon Ayuk?
DJ Moore. It's close.
I'm gonna take Brandon Ayuk.
I'm gonna take DJ Moore. That's close.
That's
Brandon
a very
Ayuk's, I
tough
think, the
one.
highest graded PFF receiver
He
so
is.
far
He
this
is
season.
indeed. Yes, he is. Okay. Next up, DJ Moore or your boy Dean Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson.
I'm gonna take Garrett there.
Agreed. Garrett Wilson.
Okay. DJ Moore or Terry McLaurin.
DJ Moore.
Terry McLaurin. It's close.
I'm gonna go with Terry because I've seen Terry produce with every quarterback who's ever played in the NFL. DJ Moore, when he had bad quarterbacks, he was struggling to produce at times. Terry's gonna produce no matter what. So I'll go Terry slightly.
Okay. This might be disrespectful. I'm sorry to the sun god himself, but DJ Moore or Amon Ra.
I'm on Raw.
Amon Ra.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
That one's not close. I feel like Amon Ra is like top tier receiver in the league.
Okay. DJ Moore or Chris Olave.
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore, but Olave eclipses him one day.
DJ Moore.
Okay. And then these are the last two. DJ Moore or Mike Evans.
Mike Evans.
I'm gonna take DJ Moore here.
And then final one, DJ Moore or Amari Cooper.
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
Taking DJ Moore.
Okay. There we go.
Nice. Shout out to DJ Moore, man. What a guy.
Yeah, he's a
What a
baller, bro.
Yeah. All right. On the Commander side of things, I'll start with Sam Howell. Thought Sam Howell was, I don't even know how to describe it. I think it's just the Sam Howell experience at this point. He's going to have some plays where it's like, wow, like this is the next Patrick Mahomes. That arm talent is insane. He is a cannon. The ball placement is crazy. And then he has some plays where it's like, can you please get rid of the fucking ball and stop taking a fucking sack? Get rid of the goddamn ball or at least try to scramble. Do something other than stand there and take a sack. I mean, he went for, what, over 300 passing, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Let me double check. Make sure. Yeah, 388 passing, 37 for 51. Like he was, obviously it was a lot of empty stats. I mean, even the last drive with a minute left in the game when it was already over, I think he got like an additional 50 yards just for no reason.
Yo, real quick thoughts and prayers to Jack Verone, bro. Thoughts and prayers to Jack Verone. Yo, he needed 5 yards from Terry McLaurin on that final drive. He got 4 and Terry fell down.
Wow.
That's so sad.
I'm texting Jack as this happens. And he's like, bro, no. I'm like, watch, that's 4. He goes, it was 4 yards and he fell. Oh my God, bro, I feel so bad for you. You lost your parlay because of that. That is not fair. Betting sucks. Don't do it, ladies and gentlemen, unless it's through Thrive.
Yeah.
But I thought Sam Howell was, for the most part, he was good. I mean, as a Sam Howell enthusiast, like this was a lot of what I think you want to see in his 6th start. Just show me some flashes. And I think for the season as a whole, he's done exactly that. He's shown a lot of flashes. He has a lot of shit to work on. I mean, you can't be getting sacked 5 times every game. Like, that's a problem. Joel Moran posted on Twitter, he is the second highest sack rate of any quarterback in NFL history right now.
Yep.
And yeah, the offensive line stinks, but like that's also on you for hanging in the pocket.
So, Chris, I'll read off some of the grades from the offensive line and pass blocking. Here we go. So Sadiq Charles, 64 pass blocking snaps, 76.1. Nick Gates, 64 pass blocking snaps, 77.7. Sam Cosmi, 64 pass blocking snaps, 79.1. Andrew Wiley, 64 pass blocking snaps, 80.8. And finally, Charles Leno Jr., 64 pass blocking snaps, 86.7.
So I will say, this is one of those scenarios where PFF isn't the gospel. Because that motherfucker, Andrew Wiley, sucks balls. He is terrible.
Agreed.
But
there were, 4 sacks last night?
5.
5? Okay. I counted 3 that were entirely on Sam Howell when I was watching the game.
Yeah. It's a problem. He's just, and I get it. You have this amazing arm. You have this amazing arm talent. You want to make something happen, but you got to feel the pressure and just take your check down. I mean, I'm the biggest take your check down guy there is on the planet, honestly. It pisses me off when motherfuckers don't take their check downs because you got to take what the defense gives you to keep them honest. And I get it. Like, you have this insane arm talent to make the big play, but just take what the defense gives you. And I know a lot of people say, like, oh, pocket awareness isn't something that's going to come with time. You either have it or you don't. I think he can develop that because a lot of it is just he's trying to make the big play. If you have a guy like Eric Bieniemy, who's supposed to be this great offensive coordinator. I mean, we'll see what happens with that, but I'm sure he's in his ear trying to get him to understand, like, like it doesn't all. You don't have to get it all in one play. You could take the 5-yard check down, and also part of that is also you have Antonio Gibson out there on third downs who either doesn't catch the ball or when he does catch the ball, it's an automatic fumble. So I wouldn't want to take my check down either if it's to Antonio Gibson.
I agree.
Who is an automatic turnover. But all in all, like, I thought Sam Howell was cool. Some of the balls he was like, it's been like this every game. Some of those balls he was throwing, it's like, wow, like this guy is really legit. Like that arm talent is really, really crazy. In my opinion, if I'm a Commanders fan, if I'm the Commanders front office, this is the guy for now. This is the guy for now where he's definitely getting the whole season. Jacoby Brissett is not entering a game.
No,
I know there were some, because I have a bunch of Commanders fans on Twitter. They were calling for Jacoby Brissett in the first half of the game. And it's just like, bro, let him rock. Like, let Sam Howell cook.
I don't think last night Sam Howell was the problem. It's very obvious that their defense is a very big problem.
So I'm going to get into that right now.
Like, I saw some on Twitter. I saw like all their defensive rankings after last night. So they're 30th in yards, 29th versus the run, 28th versus passing, 23rd interception rate, and 20th on a third down. And the only good side to their defense so far is their 6th in sack rate.
So right.
But when you spend the amount of money that they've been spending and the amount of draft capital and all that, they've spent 5 of their 7 picks in the top 2 rounds under Ron Rivera on their defense. And it's one of the worst in the league.
Yep.
So here's the issue to me. A lot of it is let these pass rushers cook, and we're going to come out there and cover 0, and hopefully the pass rush gets home before the quarterback's able to make a play. And sometimes the pass rush will get there. I mean, Chase Young in this game, that's the bright spot on defense. Chase Young looked pretty awesome in this game. I think he had 11 total pressures. I think he sacked Justin Fields 2 times. Chase Young.
He never got a contract, right?
No.
He's a free agent after the season.
Unless he's tagged.
Yeah.
Which he'll probably be tagged.
Yeah. I think Chase Young's looked pretty awesome so far through the entirety of the season. But when your scheme is to rush the passer like this, and you're setting up your D-line so spread out, that inside zone is wide open every time. In the shotgun, the inside zone, they were getting 5 yards every time. Even with fucking Blasingame, who's a fullback, that motherfucker was getting 5 yards every time.
Every Bears running back got hurt.
That's a problem. And then you're running this cover 0 defense with no safety help. And I get it. Emmanuel Forbes has been dog shit. Like it's a problem. But what else do you expect when you're putting a 160-pound corner out there on an island with AJ Brown and with DJ Moore? I mean, what else do you fucking expect to happen?
2 grown ass big
Right.
old boys.
Like,
AJ especially.
it's not a personnel issue. It's a coaching issue. Jack Del Rio is just not getting the job done.
And
He's
then you
just
end up benching Forbes and destroying his confidence for no reason in the last quarter.
right.
I mean, it's tough. Their defense on paper looks ridiculous. Like, it looks like it should be one of the top 5 units in the entire league. And you mentioned before pressure rate. They're tops in that and all that stuff, which is great because that's where most of their money is invested. It's in the defensive line. That's where all their draft picks are invested. Their money's invested. But nothing's going to work if these corners also can't cover right now. And if you are sending – I'm sorry, there's no corner in the NFL that can consistently cover man-to-man against NFL receivers. I don't care if you're taking the 50th best receiver in the NFL and the best corner in the NFL. At some point, they're going to get free. It's just a fact. So if you're going to consistently play this cover 0 against a DJ Moore, against an AJ Brown – this guy, oh sleazy.
Oh, sleazy.
You're gonna get beat. You're going to get beat, and it just as much as you rely on this pass rush to get home, and I understand that, or you're sending blitzes at Justin Fields, which in a vacuum makes sense because Justin Fields under pressure, he's looking to run, and then he gets himself in trouble, and I get it. I understand all that. But once you see that something's not working a couple times, and I'm getting sleeper alert after sleeper alert, the DJ Moore is going for 40-yard catches over and over and over again, don't we think we should maybe change things up just a little bit?
Well, that's the problem right there because you started the game with this scheme that's getting absolutely exposed, but then you have a Logan Thomas fumble. Then you have a Sam Howell interception. You have these 2 turnovers at costly points in the games that's putting the defense back on the field. Yes. And now you're down 27-3. And it's like, oh, shit. Yeah. All in all, though, the Commanders are what they are. I had them at 7 wins. You know, they're a solid team. They're not great. I don't think they're bad. I don't think this game is indicative of who the Commanders are as a team. I started my monologue when we first went into the game just saying it was one of those games. It was just one. I mean, the Cowboys lost to the fucking Cardinals. Sometimes it's just one of those games. Maybe I will say,
maybe the Bears are turning it around a little bit.
Maybe they are. I don't know. I don't think so. But to me, it was just one of those games. I think the Commanders will be all right. I think the defense will hopefully get better as the season goes on. You'd like to think that. But feel bad for my boy Emmanuel Forbes, man. Deactivated his Twitter after last week, thank God, because it would have been even worse this week.
Oh, Lord have mercy, bro. It is rough sometimes having to deal with the shit that you get after a game like this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, bro. I would know, bro.
What?
I mean, you're playing.
No, I can imagine that being awful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's tough for your mental health, man. So
yeah, these guys are human beings after all. Like we have to realize that. So
shout out to the Bears. Shout out to Justin Fields and DJ Moore, man, for getting the job done.
Is there anyone else that we want to cover from this past week? We gave CJ Stroud his flowers. God damn it, he's the greatest rookie quarterback I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
Will you talk about the Bills and the Dolphins real quick if you guys want to talk about that?
Yes. Let's cover that a little bit. The Bills dominated the Dolphins. I think it was 48-20. I don't have it up in front of me. I probably should, but
yeah, it was.
48-20 was the final, and the Bills looked like the varsity team and the Dolphins looked like the JV team. The Dolphins moved the ball pretty well in this game, close to 400 total yards. But, I mean, when you guys are consistently having 500-plus yards, 390 is not going to look nearly as much as it should. But the Bills' pass rush in this game came at Tua in waves. And it's crazy to me because the Bills don't even have their guy back, who you hope apparently might be playing this weekend in London. That Von Miller comes back and is even 75% of himself, because the pass rush is already something here. You have Shaq Lawson, you have Greg Rousseau, you have AJ Epineza, Leonard Floyd is there as well. Like, it comes in waves, and they built this team specifically for that. One thing I will say, this Bills team has a glaring weakness. They can't stop the run once again. But if you make this a game where a team clearly has to throw, the Bills are in a phenomenal script for themselves. Granted, they lost Trey White, which is horrific. It sucks, even for the human being, because he just tore his ACL previously, and now he has to deal with this Achilles injury. It sucks. I feel terrible for the guy, and I'm wishing him a speedy recovery, and hopefully he gets back to the form that he was once at. But the Bills have built this team to where they get a lead on you, and then they're going to keep that lead. And I think Matt Milano is the best linebacker in all of football. This man is just on another fucking planet with the way he's playing at the current moment. And then their secondary has a bunch of guys that you really wouldn't expect to be balling out the way they are, and yet the corners have been playing their fucking ass off. So even without Trey White, I think they will manage to be okay. But that run defense, it better figure something out soon, or else some team is going to keep it close and gash them. So,
Yeah.
Any thoughts from you guys on this one?
I was watching this game in Binghamton with Amanda's friend, who's a Bills fan, and we did a little side bet, a little $20 bet, and I lost $20, which made me pretty sad. But I mean, you pretty much hit everything. The game.
I don't even talk about Josh Allen though, because you don't even need to. What's there does not need to be said.
Yeah, I mean, the game started out, teams were trading touchdowns.
Yes.
And my initial reaction was, whoever has to punt this ball first is going to lose the game. And the Dolphins sadly had to punt the ball first, and it was pretty much over from there. Josh Allen's playing on another level right now. He took that loss to the Jets pretty personally.
He did.
I mean, when he's on and when Diggs is on, there's no quarterback receiver duo that's better than that. It's not even close. There's no duo that's better than that when they're cooking. Like you said, Matt Milano is the best off-ball linebacker in the NFL. Right now, it really doesn't look particularly close. In terms of the Dolphins, man, I'm not concerned.
Me neither.
It's a loss. Playing in Buffalo. They wanted this one. Buffalo, everyone was talking about the Dolphins. They just put up 70. People were out on the Bills. They lost to the Jets. So the Bills just wanted this one more at home. I will say for the Dolphins, they were protecting Tua great through the first 3 weeks. I think he was only sacked one time. And what was he sacked 4 times in this game against the Bills? Teron Armstead was out. He just got put back on IR, which I think is best case scenario for the Dolphins. Let him sit 4 weeks. Let him get healthy. He was banged up coming into the season anyway. Let him sit, take the 4 weeks, maybe even sit through the bye week and get Armstead and Ramsey back at the same time, whatever it is. Connor Williams was out in this game too, and Liam Eichenberg had to play center for them, which he's never done before. So obviously, team's going to generate pressure when you're missing 2 of your starting offensive linemen. It's just the way football works. I thought Tua was fine in this game. Wasn't great. He wasn't bad either. He had an interception. The ball sailed on him a little bit. I think it was to Micah Hyde. It is what it is. I don't know. The game was kind of a blur to me. It was a close game, 14-14, I'm pretty sure. And then it just wasn't a close game anymore. Stephon Diggs happened, and that was pretty much the end of it.
I agree. I'm not concerned about the Dolphins at all. They'll be perfectly fine.
They'll get their get back this week.
Who are they playing?
The Giants.
Oh shit! Yep. You don't even got to tell us. Oh boy, the Dolphins might win another game by 50. I'm gonna be honest. They might win another game by 50, bro. We're atrocious. We're about to get blown out for the fucking 4th time this season already. That's insane. This is misery.
Yeah, shout out to the Bills, man. Shout out to the Bills. Is there anything else we want to cover before we go into the pick'em? Anything from last week? All right. Before we go into the pick'em, and speaking about the Bills and Josh Allen, NFL power rankings post week 4. What do we got? I'll go first. At 5, I'm going to put the Dallas Cowboys at 5 still. They're going to be over a team that is at 6 that won't be on the graphic or in the TikTok that I might get clowned for having that team outside of my top 5. It's just the way the cookie crumbled. At 4, I got to put the Miami Dolphins. I got to move them down. There's 2 4-0 teams in the NFL, and there's one team that just stick them down. So therefore, by default, they have to be at 4. At 3, the team that did the dicking down, the Buffalo Bills. I'm a Dolphins fan, but I would be a fool to still have the Dolphins over the Bills at this current moment. There's no reason to. They dick them down. At 2, it's the Eagles. 4-0. Have to respect them. And at 1, the team that has been far and away the most dominant team in football so far this season, the San Francisco 49ers.
So I'll go next. It's hard to put the Cowboys over the Chiefs, but or even the Ravens in this case. But the Cowboys still have the best point differential in the NFL, and they just beat the brakes off the Patriots. I'm gonna have to go with the Dallas Cowboys at number 5. And then, as Chris said before, the Miami Dolphins are now number 4. In this case, I was thinking about swapping those two, but the Dolphins literally 50-pieced the team earlier this season and put up 70, so it's hard to put them down at 5. At number 3, coming as a bit of a surprise, they are 4-0, but they haven't looked as impressive in those 4 victories as I would have liked to this point, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. At number 2, the Buffalo Bills just dominated the Miami Dolphins, who we all looked at as the number 1 team consensusly last week, almost consensusly last week. And then number 1, the other 4-0 team, the San Francisco 49ers.
All right. So I guess I'll go next. So at number 5, I have the Dallas Cowboys. At number 4, this is going to be a little bit of a surprise. I have the Eagles at 4. I know they're 4-0. I feel like they haven't had that one win that's been super impressive to me, and I know they're 4-0. And there's a lot to say about that. But there's teams ahead of them, like who I have at 3, the Dolphins, who put up 70 points in an NFL game, which is extremely impressive. The Bills, who came back and beat this team that put up 70 points the next week, they're at 2. Yep. And then obviously the 49ers, who just look superior to all those teams in every facet of football, who I have at number 1. So that's going to be my list: Cowboys, Eagles, Dolphins, Bills, 49ers. I just want to see more out of the Eagles in general. I know they're 4-0, and I know they're doing enough to win. I just want to see them win in a way that I know that they can, because I know they're talented enough to do it. They just need to put everything together, which is crazy to say because they are 4-0 without having put everything together yet. So that's going to be my list for now.
So we all agree with the Cowboys at 5. They've been dominant this season. They had that one loss to the Cardinals, but like we've said, it seemed like it was an off night. Besides that, they've been dominant this season. I got to have them at 5. At 4, I have the Dolphins. They've also been dominant all season, but I had to move them down because this past week, the Bills kind of killed them this week, so I had to move them down. 3, I have the Eagles. I can't put them lower than 3. They're 4-0. So they're my 3. 2, I have the Bills. They just beat who we thought was the best team in the league for the first 4 weeks of the season. They beat the brakes off them. I got to have them number 2. And at 1, I have the Niners. They've been far and away the best team in football each week of the season so far, you know? So
yeah, for
I have
sure.
them at 1.
The Commanders really almost had the Eagles, man. They almost had them.
I was incorrect, by the way. The Cowboys.
Thank you, Sleazy.
Point differential.
I was about to say, I love that comment of Sleazy.
The Bills have the best point differential in the NFL, not the Cowboys. Cowboys are 2. So,
all right. NFL MVP ladder post week 3. Post week 4. At 3, I have Micah Parsons. I'm just gonna keep flip flopping between Parsons, Watt, and Myles Garrett. Any one of those three guys, you could have them in the top 3. I really wouldn't be mad at you. To me, Micah Parsons has just been the best out of the 3 through 4 weeks. It's that simple, but I wouldn't be mad at you if you think anyone else has been. At 2, I have Josh Allen. I wanted to put him at 1. I really did.
Wow.
And I'm not going to be mad if you do put him at 1. I completely understand, but he had an absolute stinker in week 1 against the Jets. The guy at 1 is Tua Tagovailoa, who is yet to have a game like Josh Allen had against the Jets. So I feel like by default, I have to have Tua at 1 still.
Okay. So at number 3, I actually completely got rid of my defensive players in this list. It needs to go.
Oh, it's Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey.
I have Christian McCaffrey at 3 also.
I forgot he existed. You're right. You're
Do
right.
we all have the same list? Do we have the same list?
We might, but just different orders.
Yeah, I'm going to just say that shit. My number 3 is Christian McCaffrey. He's been the most valuable player on the most valuable team in football this season. You're right.
So my 3 and 4 was quite literally, it was McCaff, and then number 4, I had to have Brock Purdy because quarterbacks win this award just by extension. And like, I'm by the end of the season, I'm gonna have to shut down the whole Brock Purdy narrative on my side because it's getting ridiculous now. He's been balling the fuck out. Like, yes, he had 2 weeks where he was iffy. This week was fucking unreal. But Christian McCaffrey is just an alien. He's not a human being. He doesn't exist as a human. He's a fucking alien. He's unlike anything I've ever seen. He can't get tackled. He always ends up in the end zone. Since being a 49er, all he's done is broken a Jerry Rice record. It doesn't make any sense. It's not real. It's video game shit. Christian McCaffrey is number 3. And he's putting up video game numbers as a running back, and it still only gets you to number 3 in the MVP rankings because at number 2, we have the quarterback of the team that put up 70 earlier this season. That is Tua Tagovailoa. Yes, Chris, you mentioned the fact that he hasn't had a bad game yet, and Josh Allen has. But Josh Allen, the last 3 weeks, as my number 1 candidate for the MVP, has been on another planet, and it's just things that Tua is not capable of doing, with all due respect to Tua Tagovailoa. And that is why Josh Allen is just on this next level. And if we see this consistently, a Josh Allen that's taking what's given to him, and then he decides, all right, let me throw this bomb to Stephon Diggs. Let me throw this bomb to Gabe Davis. And he's been the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. The most accurate quarterback in the NFL, especially over the last 3 weeks. I mean, like, what are we supposed to do about this? If this is the Josh Allen we're going to get for the rest of the season, like, you could shut it down. It's over for the rest of the league because this guy is the greatest of all time. But yeah, Josh Allen does, at this current moment, in my opinion, deserves the MVP because he's doing otherworldly shit.
So my MVP is pretty simple. I think for the fact that it's a quarterback award, I'm putting Brock Purdy at 3. He hasn't lost a regular season game yet. He continues to win. He's on the best team in the league, and he is the quarterback of the best team in the league. I think he deserves to be in the top 3 of that MVP voting, whether or not you believe he's talented enough or not. At number 2, I have Josh Allen for the same reasons that Chris said. He had that stinker against the Jets, and I think that's what's holding him back. And at number 1 is going to be Tua. I think Tua continues to put up video game-like numbers. He throws for crazy amounts of yards, and he's efficient. I think Tua remains at number 1 until further notice, until I see more out of Josh Allen the rest of the year.
So I know it's a quarterback award, but I just can't look past what Christian McCaffrey's doing. I have to put him at 3. Brock Purdy, like, you can't really say anything bad about him because he hasn't lost, but what he's doing, I don't think it equates to an MVP. What Christian McCaffrey is doing for that team, that equates to an MVP. And I don't think it's going to be like that by the end of the season. I think more people are going to come around to Brock Purdy, but I have McCaffrey at 3. At 2, I have Josh Allen. Like you guys said, he had that stinker week 1. I do think by the end of the season, I'll have Josh Allen higher because, like you said, what he's doing right now, Tua can't do the things that Josh Allen is doing right now. And I think by the end of the season, that's going to play out. And at 1 right now, I have Tua. They've been the best team for the first 4 weeks up until this week. They put 70 on the Broncos, and he's just been unreal. So that's my list. McCaff, Josh Allen, Tua.
Nice.
Nice. All right.
So sleazy, man.
So
No, Sleazy hates your hair too. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
So the rundown for the rest of the show. I have a quick segment that we'll do. Then we'll do our
Are
Thrive
you feeling
picks.
certain?
Then we'll do our start sit, and then we'll sprint through the pick'ems. Fair?
So I was planning on using the MVP as a transition into the ball game bets, but that's pretty.
Go for it then. Do that transition. Hit it.
All right, so the NFL MVP. It's been rough for us. It's been rough for us. We don't know who we're picking just yet, but I can tell you right now, there ain't no ball game MVP in a segment that we like to call.
This is ball game bets.
Did anyone hit last week?
No.
Why do you even ask at this point?
Yeah, I don't know. But before we give our ball game
We
bets,
don't have an MVP.
before we give our ball game bets, I don't know if you guys aren't following us on Twitter, go follow us on Twitter, ballgamepod_. But with Thrive Fantasy, they're doing this awesome thing. They're calling it the Proptoberfest, and they have all their partners and all their cappers and people like that participating in this event, this contest, to see who's the best Thrive Fantasy better. And the Ball Game Pod started out last night on a hot note, the hottest of notes. Sam Howell
Spicy.
over 260.5 total yards. DJ Moore over 55.5 total yards. We smashed it. And how it works is 2 pick parlays give you 10 points, 3 picks give you 30 points, 4 picks, I want to say 50 points, and then 5 picks that you can only do on Sunday are 100 points. I might be wrong on that, but I don't have it in front of me. But how it works is we do Thursday night slip, 2 Sunday slips, 1 for the 1 o'clock games, 1 for the 4 o'clock and Sunday night football game, and 1 Monday night football slip. And the winner of this contest gets 2 tickets to a home NFL or NBA game. And what we're doing is, if we win this thing, if we take it home, we're going to be giving those tickets away. So what we need you guys to do, we need you guys to download Thrive Fantasy. We need you to use code BALLGAMEPOD to get a deposit match up to $250. And whatever the promo is going on at that time, there will be a free square for something, whether it's a Sunday night game, Monday night game, Thursday night game. You'll start your first parlay with a free square. And we need you guys to analyze that board. And we need you guys to tell us what the locks are, because we need to take this thing home.
Because we obviously suck at it.
Help us take it home so we can take it home to you.
Yeah. Ball game bets isn't going well for us, but we need to take home the Proptoberfest.
And make sure you follow us on all of our socials too. If you got everything done there, bro, you might get some free tickets, which is crazy. 2 free tickets. So, we're trying to help you guys out just as much as we need you guys to help us out. So please, we're trying to win you money. We're trying to get you tickets. Help Ball Game get on the map here.
Right. Exactly what I say to Gallo in men's league when he takes on 3 defenders at once. Give me the ball and help me help you. Help us help you guys. I know you guys want some free tickets to a home game of your choice, of your home squad. So help us. Especially you, O Sleazy.
Facts.
Especially you, O Sleazy.
Yeah, we got to start hitting. We really got to start hitting. This is
we do.
This is the one.
This is the one. This
Yo,
is the
Chris, I gotta ask. Did the Fields rushing yards prop go away? Because that hit.
I think it did one. I think everything smashed in this game, though. All the overs, probably besides Terry McLaurin, and Jahan Dotson. So thank God we didn't take those. But
oh my God, bro, get Dotson the fucking ball.
Yeah. But Howell hit. I mean, we were contemplating between DJ Moore and Khalil Herbert. Khalil Herbert smashed, even though he got hurt. So shout out to Khalil.
He looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
He looked phenomenal.
Curtis Samuel smashed. Shout out to Curtis Samuel, my dog.
Yes. I don't know if Brian Robinson hit some of his props, but
all right, Dean, what do you got for us?
So this week I have Jahmyr Gibbs getting over 15.5 receiving yards. Come on, Jahmyr. It's got to be the week.
We need it.
And then I have Tua to get over 23.5 completions against the Giants. should definitely happen. I have no doubt about that one. That's a lock.
Unless they blow us the fuck out.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
We'll see.
Word.
Trunks, go ahead.
For my locks of the week, I have Miles Sanders under 61.5 for rushing plus receiving yards, and I have Zay Flowers over 45.5 receiving yards.
You know you're sweating when you take the unders. Trunks never takes the unders.
Never
But
take
Miles
unders.
Sanders is coming in injured, and
Yeah,
got
Trunks
limited
is sweating
snaps.
this week. Trunks needs it.
Yeah,
And Chuba looks good.
Yeah, Chuba does look decent. Joe Cruz, by the way, trade me Miles Sanders, buddy. He sucks, and he's done. But anyways, Jahmyr Gibbs. So for me, I have Jahmyr Gibbs over 15.5 receiving yards. With Amon-Ra out, I think not out, but with Amon-Ra possibly limited, he has a rib injury and he's still dealing with turf toe. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be used a lot more as a receiver. And then Breece Hall.
You would think.
I also have over 79.5 rushing and receiving yards against the Denver Broncos. Apparently, Breece is fully healthy and getting fully ramped up now. So I'm expecting a big week against a shit defense out of Breece Hall. Dean, you got to turn up this week. So
We know what happened the last time he versed the Broncos. Tore his ACL. No, I mean he had a 70-yard touchdown. Sorry.
I have a Breece Hall question after I give my pick. Actually, that just reminded me. But for mine, I have CJ Stroud over 246.5 passing yards. He smashed it all but 1 week this season. Week 1, he had 242, so he missed it by 4 yards. Other than that, he's been smashing this. And I have my brother, honestly, my twin ski, Josh Downs, over 33.5 receiving yards.
yeah, yo, it's so much alike.
Exactly. Josh Downs, we need it. But my Breece Hall question is, and you also mentioned Joe Cruz, our boy, our hermano, Joe Cruz. Joe,
No pun intended.
right?
What?
Joe told me that he did a trade in fantasy because he has Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. He traded Puka Nacua for Breece Hall, and he said the league vetoed it because they said he was fleecing getting Breece Hall for Puka. And I said to him, that sucks. There should be no vetoes in fantasy football. We all agree on this point. But I think that's a blessing in disguise. So I'm going to ask you guys, for the rest of this NFL season, in a vacuum, obviously it depends on if you need receiver or running back, but in a vacuum, who would you rather have in fantasy football? Breece Hall or Puka Nacua? I'm on Team Puka on this one.
I'm on Team Puka, 100%.
I'd probably, as of right now, I'm gonna say Breece Hall because Cooper Kupp's coming back, and we don't know what Puka's gonna look like once he has to share the field with Cooper Kupp. So I'm
gonna say the opposite. We don't know what Cooper Kupp's gonna look like, and we know Breece Hall hasn't been getting as many carries as advertised, and you still have Dalvin Cook in the backfield, and you still have Michael Carter, who still gets touches. I think there's just too many mouths to feed for an offense that ends up throwing the ball a lot because they end up being down a lot.
So, all right. So here's my thing about Breece Hall. I'm picking Breece only based on the fact that they just said that he's fully back, no more pitch count, and it's Breece Hall's backfield. Dalvin Cook fucking sucks. All right. Like, he's washed, he's done. No more giving Dalvin Cook touches. And the biggest thing with Breece Hall is the fact that he's a home run hitter. And the start of this schedule for Breece has been awful. Absolutely awful. So exactly, Chris. That's what he does. That's what he hits dingers. So the start of the schedule for Breece Hall was awful, but Buffalo was the first great matchup that he had, right? And he went 10 for 127. He broke a massive run. After that, Dallas, New England, and Kansas City, 3 of the best run defenses so far in the NFL, simply because they've been blowing teams out. Now, Denver this week, green-rated matchup. You got Philadelphia after that, but then you have the bye. After the bye, are you ready for the Breece Hall running back matchups? This is where he takes over.
I'm so ready.
Giants, Chargers, Raiders, Buffalo, Miami. Then he gets Atlanta, which isn't crazy. Houston, Miami, and Washington, who have all been green-rated matchups for running backs so far this season. Breece Hall is, right now, you have to trade for Breece Hall in a fantasy football league. This is the time. So in my personal opinion, or potentially after Philadelphia, whichever you feel like doing right before the bye, in my personal opinion, I think Breece Hall is set to be a top 10 running back for the remainder of the season in fantasy football. So I think now's the time, and that's more valuable than a top 15-ish receiver for the rest of the season in fantasy football, simply because the running back position, it's horrible in fantasy right now. It is really bad if you don't have one of those top 10 guys or more. So I think Brees is the guy for the remainder of the season. If you have him, don't trade him, and if you don't have him, go trade for him.
Word. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Blind rank these NFL running backs based on their stats through week 4. So player A has 318 yards. He's going for 6 yards per attempt. He has 0 rushing touchdowns. Receiving, he has 19 receptions for 134 yards and 1 touchdown. Player B has 364 rushing yards on 6.2 yards per attempt, 2 rushing touchdowns, and through the air, he has 9 receptions for 37 yards and 0 touchdowns.
Give me player A.
I'm taking player A.
I like the more receiving work that they have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take player A too. Can I guess the player A is James Cook?
No.
You could guess that, but player A is not James Cook.
Okay.
Player A is Bijan Mustardson. Player B is DeAndre Swift. Matty J said DeAndre Swift's a top 3 running back in the NFL. He's not better than Mustardson.
I didn't say. I said he's
Exactly what you said.
You did. You did say that.
in the NFL,
And then we called you out, and you said top 3 runner of the football. Like that's any
Which
different.
he is. Right now, he is. What are we debating here? 150 each week. What?
What?
Fuck.
What?
Fuck. All right. Yeah, I'm on Rob me over.
All right. Are we doing start and sit? Because I have to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give my start and sit first. All right.
All right. Do the intro, Matty J, for the start sit.
Who was your week 5 fantasy football start of the week?
All right. So I'm starting Romeo Doubs this week. He has been absolutely tearing it up every single week. And this week he has Las Vegas, who does not have a good defense. So I'm definitely starting Romeo Doubs this week.
Nice. I'm starting Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle versus the Giants. The Giants stink. Jalen Waddle has been pretty meh so far this year. He sat out a week due to a concussion. This is the Jalen Waddle big time explosion week. I think I have an explosion button on here. No.
Just say that again because I interrupted you at the beginning. Just say
My start of the week's Jalen Waddle.
My start of the week is Breece Hall. We talked about him before. He's going against the Broncos defense this week, who is the worst run defense in the league, allowing 176 yards per game on the ground. I think Breece Hall is going to have a breakout week this week.
So as much as I hate to say it, my start of the week is Devon Achane against the Giants. Achane's been unbelievable, incredible.
Is that how you say his name?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how you actually say his name.
It's not A-Chain?
Nope, it's Devon Achane. He clarified it in a post-game presser, I'm pretty sure. He was like, by the way, it's like pronounced Achane. So I have to say, like, it's another guy that one play could make your fantasy day. And against the Giants team that the Dolphins are probably going to blow out, they just like to hand out touchdowns at that point. And I think Devon Achane is going to get a couple of them. So who is your week 5 fantasy football start? Oh, my God. All right, let me redo that. Who is your week 5 fantasy football sit of the week?
My sit of the week is going to be T. Higgins. He came back to practice today. It looks like he's going to be playing, but in a Bengals offense that looks absolutely garbage. I'm definitely sitting him this week. A little banged up. Joe Burrow doesn't look great. He hasn't been producing. Definitely keeping him on the bench.
Go ahead, Charles. Or Chris, whichever one.
This week I'm sitting Miles Sanders. We saw this before, how I took his under in our ball game bets. I don't like Miles Sanders this week at all. He's coming into the week injured, and he's going against a Detroit run defense that has been the best in the league through the first few weeks of the season, allowing only 60.8 yards on the ground to opponents. And I don't think Miles Sanders is going to have a good week at all. See you, Dean.
He just threw up the peace signs and said deuce.
My sit of the week is going to be Zay Flowers versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Division game. We'll see what happens when we get into the pick'em, who I'm going to pick to win this game. But honestly, no, I have no stats to back this one up. It's just a vibe thing. Just not feeling Zay Flowers this week.
Another unfortunate one for me. My sit of the week is Ramondre Stevenson. It pains me to say because I was so huge on Ramondre coming into the year. After this week, it is all green rated matchups except for one. So I think this is a perfect buy low opportunity if you have the chance to do so. Shouldn't cost you much. But this week, Ramondre goes ahead and plays against the New Orleans Saints, who are a very good run defense for multiple seasons now. And Ezekiel Elliott seems to be taking over a little bit of touches in this backfield. It's seemingly that's what they're saying at least. And Ramondre's coming into the week injured. So it's just the perfect storm of him having another shit fantasy football week and having a lot of shares in him makes it hurt even more. So, all right, that's that. This is unfortunate, man. This is unfortunate. I was so high on Ramondre. He just fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So, all right, here we go. We'll head into the pick'em now for week 5 of the NFL. Who did we have going into yesterday's game? I'll just ask prior to it. I had the Commanders. I did have the Commanders going to win. I think that was pretty clear. But
honestly, it was a bad choice. The Bears were so due.
Yeah,
over the years since the last time they won a game,
especially in prime time.
They were so due.
Especially in prime time, like I don't know why I wouldn't think so. All right, here we go. First game in London once again, 9:30 in the morning. Set your alarms, fellas. The Jacksonville Jaguars are not at home against Buffalo in London. Buffalo is currently 5.5-point favorites. Who do we got?
I mean, the Bills.
I mean, the Jaguars, man. London's their spot. London is their spot. I know the Bills are rolling right now. I'm going to take the Jaguars here. They're used to those early 9:30 in the morning games out there in London. Hopefully we get another Toy Story edition because that was pretty sick. But I'm going to go with the Jaguars here.
As much as I want to say that, and I agree that was going to be part of my reasoning, but I just think the Bills are rolling, and the momentum coming off that Miami game is going to be unreal. So I think that and Von Miller might be back. So that's another thing. So I think all these factors are just leading me to picking the Bills. So, all right, next up, we have the rivalry game of the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Pittsburgh. The Steelers are currently 4.5-point underdogs at home. Is there official word on Kenny Pickett yet?
He's playing, I think.
He is playing. Okay.
From what I know, he's playing.
I was taking the Ravens either way, and that leads me to taking the Ravens even more. I think pretty handily in this one.
Yeah, I'm also taking the Ravens.
I'm taking the Steelers here. It's just a vibes thing. I don't know. They're at home, division game. Division games are always tough. I don't know. I'm just feeling the Steelers taking this one. It's what my heart's telling me. I'm going to go with my heart here.
Okay. All right, next up. New Orleans Saints travel to Gillette to face the Patriots. It's a pick 'em, as the Patriots are 1-point underdogs at the current moment. So
I'll go with the Patriots here. I think they're due.
I don't know who I'm picking in this game, if I'm being entirely honest. They just traded for JC Jackson from the Chargers, and watch, he'll be an All-Pro again. I think I'm going to pick the Saints, and I don't feel good about that because Derek Carr looked horrific last week dealing with an injury. But I think I'm just going to lean the Saints ever so slightly.
I'm going with the Saints also. The Patriots stink. There's some quarterback controversy there. Mac Jones might be done ski, so I'm going to rock with the Saints.
Okay.
Fuck Mac Jones.
Next up, the Atlanta Falcons are 1.5-point favorites and basically another pick 'em against the Houston Texans. And I think I'm going to lean with the rookie quarterback and CJ Stroud this week. I think I'm going to take the Houston Texans, who are rolling. Even though it's a shoddy run defense and the Falcons are known to run that football.
I think I'm going to go with the Falcons just because they're the home team.
I'm going to go with the Falcons, too. I think the Falcons defense honestly isn't getting talked about enough from the national media because the quarterback play has been so bad, but their defense has been legit, top 10 unit in the league. So I think their defense is going to give CJ Stroud some problems. The run game is going to be dominant. Bijan's going to have a huge monstrous day. So let's go Falcons. Dirty Birds.
Next up, the Indianapolis Colts are at home as 2.5-point underdogs against the Tennessee Titans. Who we got?
Give me the Colts. Jonathan Taylor's return. There's no way it goes wrong, especially at home.
Famous last words.
Give me the Colts. Jonathan Taylor's return. There's no way it goes wrong, especially at home.
Yep. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Titans. Give me the Titans. I think this is the game where, they could control the run game, and they're going to force Anthony Richardson to beat him, and I think it might be an iffy day for Anthony Richardson in this one. So, taking the Titans. The Titans just seem to shock everybody. They win the games that they're not supposed to win, and then they lose the games they are supposed to win. I guess you're supposed to win this one, so you're going to lose, but I'm going to take the Titans anyway. All right. Carolina Panthers on the road to face the Detroit Lions, and the Lions are currently 9.5-point favorites, and I think that's for good reason. I think the Lions win this one, and I think Jared Goff throws for 3 or more touchdowns.
Agreed. Lions. No.
This is Chris's upset of the week.
This is my upset of the week. I'm going to go with the Panthers here. They're due. I think Bryce Young has his best game as an NFL quarterback. He is due. There's another one going with my heart, man. Brain's telling me the Lions. Heart's telling me the Panthers. I'm going to ride with my heart, man.
Okay. All right. In what is most likely the biggest line of the week, the Miami Dolphins are at home against my poor New York Giants. 11.5-point favorites of the Dolphins. And I think they win by a lot more than that. So
yeah. Dolphins.
Sorry. It's over. Bench Daniel Jones.
All right. Next up, the Los Angeles Rams are at home, getting a healthy Cooper Kupp back, most likely, against the Philadelphia Eagles. Even with all of that, they are 4.5-point underdogs. I think this is a close game, but I still think the Eagles stay undefeated.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think it's the Eagles. I think the Rams are going to keep it close, but I think the Eagles are just going to be too much for them in the end of the game. The run game is going to be too much for them.
Okay, so in what could potentially be a get-right game, and all the reports are coming out that Joe Burrow is apparently feeling very healthy and very well. The Cincinnati Bengals travel to Arizona, who have been a pesky opponent for just about everybody. The Cardinals are currently 3-point underdogs against the Bengals. I don't know how much I believe that the Bengals are that Joe Burrow is feeling the best he's felt, with T. Higgins also injured. I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals in this one.
The Bengals have to win this game, bro. They have to. Like you said, it's their get-right game. They're going to win.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bengals here. But I didn't forget what you said, Trunks. The Bengals have more of a chance to win the Super Bowl than to miss the playoffs. Joe Shiesty is going to Shiesty his way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
I did. He's going to do it. Don't worry.
So the Denver Broncos are at home against the New York Jets. They're currently 2.5-point favorites. Do the Jets get their season on track, or do the Denver Broncos win 2 in a row?
It's tough. I'm going to go with the Jets. I think they do it. Like I said, I think Breece Hall is going to have a big week. I think they're going to win.
I think Russ is going to cook. I think he's going to keep throwing them passing touchdowns. I think he's getting there to beating the bathrooms already.
He
I'm gonna
needs to
ride
win
him.
my bet. He needs to win
Yeah.
my bet.
What was it, 32.5?
Yeah,
I think he's on
so.
pace.
He's on pace for like 40 right now,
Mhm.
actually.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Broncos here. Sorry, Dean.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean with the Denver Broncos as
I think
well.
Zach Wilson returns to Zach Wilson form.
I completely agree. But this, bro, even Justin Fields lit them up last week. So
Zach Wilson ain't no Justin Fields.
you're probably right. All right, next up, the Minnesota Vikings, 3.5-point underdogs at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. Didn't the Chiefs win this one?
This is my upset of the week. I'm going with the Vikings.
Whoa.
Yep.
Wow. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
Sorry, Swifties.
Okay. All right, next up. This is going to be potentially the game of the week. I'm very excited for this one. Arguably the two best teams in the entire NFC. As the San Francisco 49ers face off against the Dallas Cowboys. The 49ers are at home and are 3.5-point favorites at the current moment. Okay. This one is tough. I don't know who I want to pick. I'm
gonna pick the Cowboys. I think they're gonna get off to a really hot start. I think early on in the game they're gonna really rattle Brock Purdy, and I think this is gonna be the worst we see Brock Purdy look so far in his NFL career. I think that Cowboys defense is that good that they're gonna rattle him.
So the first
agree.
season loss for Brock.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
agree.
Brock.
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys this week.
I'm going to take the 49ers, and I don't feel amazing about that, but I'm going to take the 49ers. I think Brock Purdy continues his streak, and the Cowboys can be had in the run game, and I think that once again Christian McCaffrey has an MVP-level day and carries them to a win. All right, the last game of the week. What an interesting last game of the week. The Las Vegas Raiders are at home against Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. It's a pick 'em once again as the Raiders are 1-point favorites.
I don't care. I really don't care. This sucks.
Give me the Raiders.
This sucks.
I think Jordan Love gets it done. I think against the Raiders team that can be had on defense, I think Jordan Love gets the W here in Las Vegas.
I would go with the Raiders. I think Josh Jacobs has a big day. He carries the Raiders to the promised land.
Okay. So that's it.
That's the end.
Is it. Real quick, Chris, you want to give the other shout out?
Yes. Shout out to our partners over at SeatGeek. I'm sure the two of you use SeatGeek to get your tickets to the Giants game on Monday night. I'm sure you got a great deal, but if you guys don't know about SeatGeek, if you're trying to go to any event, sporting event, concert, anything like that, SeatGeek is the app for you, the best ticketing app on the market. They grade their deals on a scale of 1 to 10. They also grade them by color. Makes it easy for the eyes when you're looking at the app. The red deals, stay away from those. Don't buy them. As Trunk said, bad deals, thumbs down. But the green deals are good. Those are the ones that you want to buy. Thumbs up. And also, if you use code BAllGamePod at checkout of your first purchase, SeatGeek's going to give you $20 off your first purchase. Again, that is code BAllGamePod for $20 off your first purchase. Big thanks again to SeatGeek, the GOATs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There it is. All
Thank
right.
you, Kadeem.
Thank you.
You could deem. But also, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all of those socials. And with that,
BAllGame.